Hi, I'm Candace Anger with eXp Realty, and I am here in one of my beautiful luxury listings, and I have the opportunity to be here with Steve Graham, who's the general manager of Exodusindustries, who took this home down to the studs and put so many special features in it. I cannot wait for you to know. This house is 8103 Patrice Drive in the heart of Brentwood in the Brent Haven subdivision. It is the top blue ribbon schools, the best of the best if you look at their rankings. It also sits on a level 1.11 acre lot with a brand new circular driveway and so many other features. So here I am with Steve. So Steve, let's talk a little bit about the journey of this house. Do you remember what it was like when you first came in?
Oh, Candace, it was incredible. This home had been lived in, had been used perfectly for the families before, and the seller that picked this home up had an opportunity to come in and turn it into something special, and we were honored to be able to be a part of this project all the way through. You're correct, it was all the way down to the stud. So we added a master suite with a 3-car garage underneath, and we took the existing house and we tore everything out.
That's what I've heard. I've heard it's new roof, new rafters, new sheeting, new drywall, new trim, new floors, was there any inch that was untouched here in the house?
No, every square foot was touched in this house. We actually took all the electrical out of the entire home. So all of the old electrical system was torn out. It had a 200 amp service before. The seller upgraded to a 400 amp service, even with an electrical vehicle charger already set in and ready to go. So all new electrical throughout the entire house. We tore out all the old plumbing, all the cast iron, all the copper. It has all new PEX, a brand new tankless hot water heater services the home. All the way down to, in the electrical, 80% of the switches in this home are all smart switches.
Yes.
So simply through the voice of Alexa, you can actually take and turn on lighting throughout the entire home.
Yes, and I don't know if the women out there are as excited as I am, but in the closet, right when you first walk in, the smart switch, you can actually say, Alexa, turn on my Christmas lights, and there's plugs on the outside that are attached to all your outside Christmas lights. So, I know it won't be the same Christmas with you in your robe out in the snow with bare feet, with your hair sticking up and being really tired, but this is a nice option for you. So it'll be a new Christmas this year. Okay, well, and then one of the things that we're standing in front of is a 12-foot accordion door. Where does someone get a 12-foot accordion door? And that is just beautiful, and you can have it partially closed, all the way open, just the door opening. There's so many features. So tell us about that and a little bit of the outside space that you did.
Yeah, so it was awesome. So this seller was the perfect seller because they spared no expense.
Yes.
All the way down to this incredible accordion door, which we had shipped in straight out of California. It does have the one operational door. It is 12 foot. So it takes and turns the indoor kitchen and living area into a spacious 30 by 30 full Trex maintenance-free deck.
Wow.
That sits outside. So the entertaining space in this home is unmatched to anything else in the market right now.
It is, and a lot of people are sort of into the feng shui, and sort of that California style has hit here in Tennessee, where you can open that front door when you walk in and see all the way through to the back, and it makes it great for entertaining. Obviously, there's over a 10-foot island behind me with Viking stove and Bosch column refrigerator. Tell us about the idea that came in the primary suite. When you get up in the middle of the night and you walk from the primary suite into your dressing room, into your primary powder room or bathroom, the floor actually lights up for you.
Yeah, okay. So it was, and that was incredible because we were having the conversation about how the space would be lived in, and that's one of the things that we do with our company is really try to figure out what's the most appropriate use of the real estate. In that process, we kind of defined where the bed was going to potentially sit in the space. And then we thought, well, in the middle of the night, it's a walk around the bed. You don't want to turn on all the lights to find your way to the powder room. And so at that point, we came up with a solution with the seller to actually take and put a motion sensor in the baseboard that lights up the floor in the walk space all the way through to underneath the vanity in the bathroom. That allows you to come and go without having overhead lights turned on, any night lights turned on, and then it shuts itself off.
I love that, because whether you're getting up in the middle of the night for a baby, or maybe one spouse gets up earlier than the other and you don't want to flip all the lights on and be completely obnoxious, or if you're like me and you actually don't want to fall on your way to the cow rug that's down and the flip-flops that are down there, if you don't want to actually fall on your way to the bathroom, that's more me. So now that we've told you some of the features, and let me just give you a quick summary of this home. It's 4,100 square feet. It is 5 bedrooms, or it can be 4 bedrooms plus an office. And then there's also another flex space for a craft room, for an exercise room, for a workshop, for a second office, however you envision it. It's again on a 1.11 acre lot level. There's absolutely room for a pool. And then tell me, how high are these ceilings that we're standing under right now?
Yeah, so we came in and the original ceiling was a flat ceiling, like most of the Brent Haven homes are.
Yeah.
And the seller had the vision to take and vault this ceiling. So the center part of the ceiling is 13 feet. Mm-hmm. So that's the highest point of the vault. Definitely opens up the space.
For sure.
With the vaulted ceilings, one of the things that happened was, when we did it, we noticed that the rafters were overspanned for the home.
Got you.
The seller made the decision immediately, let's do the right thing for the property. So we actually tore every single rafter off this house and put the appropriate rafters on. This is a fully permitted project through the city of Brentwood. So everything's been done, has been inspected, and has passed every single phase of that process. When we did it, we also took, and the seller made the decision to take and spray foam the entire property. So all of the walls, all of the ceilings, all of the floor system in the flex space downstairs and the downstairs bedroom or office, all of that area has been spray foamed. So the efficiency of this home
amazing
will be over the top.
Amazing. And it does have 2 units servicing this home. And then there's also, tell us a little bit about, I know there's extra insulation in the wall that separates sort of what I would call the kids wing or the guest wing and the main living space. And then also in the rec room, between the floor and the bedroom underneath, there was
Correct.
Extra insulation put in, right?
That's correct. So that's all spray foamed as well. The wall systems have extra installation in them from that to the primary suite, where the primary suite is completely separated off all by itself. I mean, there's details to this home that if you don't know, you'll miss them.
Right.
Right? All the way down to, there's 2 setups for 2 washer and dryers in this home.
Yes.
Right? To be able to service a family with 5 bedrooms. But what we did was we actually put electric and gas in for both. So it doesn't matter what you're moving into this home with,
yes.
it's gonna accommodate those
fit.
appliances
yes.
at the same time.
I love that. Okay, well, that's so exciting, everything that's happening in this home. So we want to mention a couple of features also. Like, tell me about the water pressure in this house.
Yeah, so one of the first things that we did, Candace, when we came in was water pressure is extremely important, especially in a 5-bedroom, 3.5 bedroom
yes.
home, right?
Yes.
So we actually increased the size of the water line from the city supply to a 1-inch water line that comes into the house that feeds all the 1/2-inch lines throughout. But we also took it on the exterior hose bibs, or the outlets on the outside of the hose, we actually made those 3/4 inch. Mm-hmm. So there's enough pressure to water the lawn without draining down the bathtub, without making the sink pressure weak. So plenty of pressure throughout the entire house.
Gotcha.
Some of the additional things that we did was, and you'll notice in the 3-car garage, there's actually a wash bay. Mm-hmm. So we actually installed into the concrete a drain system that allow you to wash a car inside, outside, bring it in, dry it off, and all the water go down through the drainage system. And there's even a pressure washer in that 3rd bay.
I'm loving this because I was thinking like kids with muddy shoes,
dog,
coming back from soccer,
anything.
dogs,
Yep.
and then of course the car too. But
right, yeah, and the whole floor is a full epoxy treated floor.
Yes.
So it'll be maintenance free on that floor mm-hmm. for multiple years. All of the entire electrical system in the house, as we talked about, is all brand new, but it's even been wired for pre-sound for speakers.
That's
that
amazing.
All go back to a hidden spot back in the pantry area.
Yes, and the pantry is 14 by 7, which
it's huge.
The pantry is generally my favorite room in the house because I can hide everything when I have people over and all your laundry or whatever you need to put in there. And so so keep going.
And
yes,
it's well thought out too, because it's close enough to the kitchen to not be a distraction from the kitchen, but to be there to be able to supply during a party or anything else.
Yes.
The flooring system in the house and all of the floors that we put in, you know, the seller took great care in actually picking out the recessed vents.
Yes, those are amazing. Don't you love those?
Yeah,
they're
it's such a touch of class.
It is.
As well as all of the fixtures, the switch fixtures in the new addition in the primary area right here, all of them they're all flush.
That's amazing. No.
So it's a great touch
Yes.
that just really adds another point of class to this
It
house.
is. It's just luxury. Everything is luxury. The 59-inch tub is luxury. The appliance are luxury. The wide plank is luxury. The deck is, you have this feeling of, but it doesn't feel like it's over the top. It's just definitely a really beautiful family home. So
it really is. And this is one, a lot of renovations when you get into them, if somebody's looking to renovate to turn around and sell the home, they're looking for ways to cut corners.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And it's do this is less expensive, this is less expensive, let's do this, nobody will notice this. Not here.
Yes.
Not at Patrice.
And
this house is done over the top.
And including the speakers, do they call it a cab 6? Is that right?
So the Cat 6, the house is also wired for Cat 6. So that's going to be for your internet, your Ethernet, anything that you want to connect to
high speed internet. And I personally, love, there's already cameras installed outside that can go, with your phone. And so you can see who comes to the door, etc. So it's all done. Like you said, you basically just have to move your couch in here. And that's the fun part. That's the fun part where you get to put your money. You get to decorate it.
Well, and you can do this with complete confidence.
Yes.
That when you buy this home, whomever buys this home, the confidence is that is exactly what you have to do.
Yes.
Just move in.
It is.
And start living.
It's almost like a brand new home. I mean, you could almost call it, it's not new construction, and it's great that it's not because it's in a really established neighborhood with very mature trees and very large lots. And so that's one of the great things. It's almost like getting a new build in the middle of a very established sort of premier neighborhood. And this neighborhood, as you know, is you have 65 is not very far. So if you work downtown and then you've got all the shopping to Cool Springs, if you have a child in elementary school, I mean, you are literally a hop, skip, and a jump. So you can sleep in, as long as possible before you have to get up and get out of your pajamas and drive them over there. And also you mentioned something that I think is really important to talk about these sellers is that they really want to do the right thing. So when something was encumbered, like the rafters, immediately there was no hesitation in that decision to replace that, to redo it, to do the extra step. And so I know it's not the first time that you've worked with this seller, you've done their personal home, just another beautiful home in Brentwood that will be available soon, but it's not the first time that you've worked with this seller. So tell us a little bit about this seller's personality and how they've really put their heart and soul into this house.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's a great point, Candace, because we got to know the seller on a very intimate level when we did their personal home, and we got to find the things that they liked and the things that they didn't like, and that really helped transition into this project, because there were things like every project that always happens. You get done, you say, I wish we would have done this, or I wish we would have done that. We got here and the seller was willing to step up and say, hey, you know what? We need new windows in the entire home. Mm-hmm. If we're gonna do this, if we're gonna touch every square inch, if we're gonna touch every single piece of this home, if we're going to do it, let's do it exactly like we would live here. Mm-hmm. And I even think there was a point in time when they considered actually living in this home.
Yes, they did, absolutely. I'm actually, after being here for a while, I'm actually considering living in this home. So, okay, now let's talk a little bit about Exodus Industries. So you're the general manager of Exodus Industries. You've been doing business. Exodus Industries, you'll see their trucks about town all the time. They do a ton of work of Williamson County, Davidson County for over 20 years. And we use them personally. I use them personally for my own personal home, for rental properties that I have. So anyway, tell us a little bit about the company and how you work with someone if they come to you for renovations.
Sure, yeah. So we are a full suite general contractor. We have an architect on staff. We are a full general contractor. So one of the things to remember when people do renovations, when they do new builds, when they do things like that, a lot of times a general contractor will have just a small office with just a couple of people, and then everything gets subcontracted out. Mm-hmm. We do use subcontractors, but the subcontractors that we use are subcontractors that we've used for a long period of time. We've vetted them personally. We've had experience with them. They know what we expect of them, as well as we have a lot of our own skilled labor that are actually our employees. They're people that have worked with us for 10, 12, 15 years. And we have an incredible office staff that helps support us. So when a client comes to us, I'm typically the first point of contact with them because I want to meet with them. I want to get what their expectations are, find out if what they want to do is a good fit for us. That's actually a good opportunity because it may not always be a good fit for everybody, but you can look and you can see some of the work that we've done. We do large scale renovations, we do new builds, we do smaller renovations. So nothing's really out of the realm of what we'll do. I make a joke and I tell everybody, I'll build a doghouse if I can sell it for enough. So it's good for us to have these relationships that we have with like the sellers of Patrice. Because we have done work for them before, and fortunately, we may have an opportunity to get to work for them again in the future. But those relationships and people that see that and they know our reputation, because our owners made it very clear from the beginning. We always make sure that when we leave, the client's happy. And sometimes that means that we don't make as much money, and sometimes we don't make any money.
Sure.
But when we're done, we're leaving the client with a good finished product, something that they can be proud of, and something that they can refer us to other people. We basically live a lot on referral right now.
I love that. So also tell us a little bit about how big was a project like this?
You get to find out every single thing about the home when you do it. And so for this, we came in and the seller actually managed a lot of the front end demolition because we were tearing it all out. So they took care of all that. So by the time we got in, we were able to really look at it and start to make the determination of where was a wall going to go? What was the best layout for the floor plan? And it worked great because the plan set that we had was very almost spot on to what we ended up doing, and that was with our architect at our office along with the seller working together to come up with those plans. Do things change in the middle? Sure. There's always things that happen.
Never.
Always things that happen on the fly, a lot of game time decisions all the way down to the gas lanterns that are out on the front of the house that were originally just supposed to be lights, all the way down to the flooring and doing the wide plank engineered flooring for the home that, as you can see, is just beautiful all the way throughout. All the way down to replacing every piece of trim to go with the more modern trim versus the old waterfall style trim. So I will say, a lot of times when people are looking for homes that have been renovated, there are some real watch outs. One is, was it fully permitted? And two, what can you expect as a buyer to come in, and what are you going to have to do that the seller didn't do?
And how do you find out if it's permitted? You go down to the city and just see if they pull it?
Absolutely.
You can ask the builder for one also, or the person that did the renovations, but you can actually go down to the city and pull those records to make sure that everything that was done.
The thing about Patrice that is the most amazing is whoever buys this property, everything's already been done. It's not like you buy it and now I'm going to have to fix the plumbing.
Right.
Plumbing's all been done. I'm going to buy it, I'm going to have to change the electrical. Electrical's already been done. You already have an EV, it's already set up for you. HVAC, the HVACs are all under warranty. When you walk into this home, you get to live. You don't have to worry about spending more money to try to fix something that the renovator or the seller tried to skip over or tried to shortchange. In this, I can 100% guarantee you, this house was touched with the greatest of intent.
Yes. And we feel that when you're in there. I mean, everything feels so solid, so well done. You know, you go to some houses and the doors, the closets don't, quite shut right. The accordion door, you're really, maybe you're really fussing with that. There's none of that in here. It's absolutely wonderful. And so anyway, also I would like to say for Exodusindustries too, we do use them a lot as realtors for their HVAC and also for their plumbing. So we use them for service calls, whether it's during an inspection, they'll come out and inspect an HVAC, or they'll personally fix yours, so those are, like you said, not everything is subcontracted. They have so many people out working all the time. So, and then of course some things you like to get subcontracted because they're just experts in concrete or they're experts in this, but anyway, but okay, well, is there anything else that you want to say, anything you would say to someone coming to you for the first time, like, oh, we're thinking about knocking out this wall, or we're thinking about building a house, like, how would they go about sort of like getting a hold of you? Who do they talk to? How do they start? I'm sure they have all these ideas flying in their mind. Like, how do they, like, tell us like how they get to you.
Sure. So yeah, I mean, you can, as easy as going on Exodusindustries.com. You can see our contact phone number there. You can reach out to us on our website. You can reach out to us by phone. The team in the office will be happy to set up an appointment with you. They'll get a little bit of detail. If it's timing related, we can also work through that. If it's scope related, we can work through that at the same time. So we're definitely very flexible, and by having a lot of our own people and being a full general contractor, we are able to be fairly nimble most of the time for people.
That's awesome. Well, you heard it here from the builder. He'll be around this week for any questions, and during this time for any questions, he'll be available on anything in the house. But thank you so much for spending a few minutes with us. I'm Candace Anger with eXp Realty, with Steve Graham, the Managing Director of Exodus Industries. It's been wonderful to do this Q&A. If you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to either one of us. Have a wonderful day.